Hi, thanks for joining me. And my name is Felicia, and I'm glad that you're here. I'd always wanted to visit Switzerland, but I knew it was really expensive. So I decided to tack on the trip to Switzerland onto a longer trip to Germany. So come along as I explore Switzerland and discover why it's important to choose the right time of year. So I went to Switzerland for 5 days and I visited Lucerne, Grindelwald, and Zurich. My dream was visiting Grindelwald. My parents had gone to Grindelwald several years before that, and they had a beautiful picture of Grindelwald in their bathroom and looking at a beautiful mountain, and I just knew that I wanted to visit there. So I spent the majority of my time in Grindelwald. So I flew into Zurich and rode a train 1 hour to Lucerne. Lucerne was a neat little town. I stayed in an unusual hotel that was a former prison. It was called Barabas Luzern. I'll be sure to put the information in the description box if you're interested in checking it out. My room was really small, just like a jail cell, really sparse, with small bathroom and bars on the windows. And it was two doors to get out of my room, so that was fairly interesting. I explored the town while I was there, and I went by and saw the Mill Bridge, which was built in 1408 and then rebuilt in 1566 and 1871. They had some really neat paintings on the ceiling from the 1600s. I also saw a river dam from the 1800s. This town had lots of interesting architecture, beautiful old buildings, and even some painted murals on the outside of some buildings, which reminded me of Germany. So I really enjoyed visiting there. While I was there, the last thing I saw was the Wounded Lion Monument. If you don't have time to see anything else, I would definitely go see this. It was impressive. It was carved in 1820, and it was to honor the Swiss guards who were killed in the French Revolution. The lion was carved in sandstone, in a sandstone wall. It was really detailed and really impressive. So you definitely should see that if you're there. So the next day I rode a train 2.5 hours to Grindelwald. This was the place that I'd been looking forward to. I arrived in the town. It was only a 7-minute walk to my hotel from there, and I got my first view of the mountains. Partially cloud covered mountains, but the sun was out. It looked beautiful, and I had a few days here, so I wasn't concerned about being able to get more pictures of the mountains without the clouds. But I checked into the Eiger Mountain and Soul Resort, which was right in the middle of downtown. Wonderful location. Had a beautiful room with a balcony that I really enjoyed, a large bath, and a fully stocked mini fridge that was totally free. They also had cake and coffee hour every afternoon from 3 to 5, which was also free and really interesting. I definitely hit that up every day I was there. So I decided to go for a walk, and I saw a cute little church. You know, when you see the neat paintings or pictures of Switzerland and you see the mountains and then a cute little church right in front of it, that's what I saw, was that beautiful little church and the cloudy mountains behind it. But the church was beautiful inside and outside, as well as they had a beautiful cemetery of all things. Really green grass with lots of flowers there. You could tell it was really well taken care of. So I enjoyed visiting that. I also saw some Swiss cows with the cowbells grazing in the green grass and just along my walk in town. And I saw more cloud covered mountains. I went back to my hotel for the cake and coffee hour, which also had tea, lots of different little cakes, fruit, and even juice if you didn't want cake and coffee. By the next day, I realized that my dream versus my reality of October in Switzerland was different than I imagined. I thought my days would be riding the cable cars and seeing the different mountains at different levels and how beautiful they were, and lots of pictures of that. My reality was it was cold, 45 degrees, drizzly, rainy, and the mountains were all covered. So I decided that I would make the best of it, and there was a goat show in town. So I decided to go and see the goat show. And they had lots of little things you could buy out there and lots of food too. So I sat and ate and had beer and brats with some strangers. It's nothing unusual when you're in Europe to share a table, so I just sat down at a table with some other people I didn't know, and we chatted a little bit and had an enjoyable afternoon. So I looked back at the mountains and they were still covered by clouds, and so I decided I would do my own chocolate tasting. So I bought some different chocolates, took them back to my hotel room and tried some different chocolates, and of course I had cake and coffee again also. My next day was my last full day in Grindelwald, and it was cloudy and raining again. So I decided to go to the Glacier Canyon, where you walk through these tunnels and you see different waterfalls and lots of cool views of a natural gorge which was carved by a glacier. It was about $23 to go. It was really an interesting way to spend a few hours. Then back to town for some raclette cheese, pickles, and potatoes. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but it's melted cheese and it is delicious. And while I was sitting at the restaurant having my cheese, a cow parade started going down the middle of town. So of course I got up and walked outside and filmed a little bit of the cow parade. I hope I can put a clip in there for you to see it, because it was really neat to see that. They were just walking through town. It was really interesting. Then I went back for cake and coffee hour and then treated myself to a massage at the resort. So my time in Grindelwald wasn't what I expected, but I still saw some cool stuff. I stayed at a really nice place with a wonderful buffet, and I had fun. But my last day in Switzerland was in Zurich. So my Zurich was at the end of my 2 weeks in Germany. So I flew into Zurich and then I flew back out of Zurich. So after I finished in Germany, I rode the train from Munich to Zurich, and it was about 3.5 hours. When I got into Zurich, I decided to stop for lunch on the way to the hotel and had a $30 salad with a couple of egg rolls on the side with some a Coke with no ice. Sadly, in Europe, you don't always get ice in the Coke. It was good, but it wasn't worth $30. So Switzerland definitely is expensive, so be prepared for that. My hotel there in Zurich was really cool. It was called the Fred Guest House, and I'll be glad to leave that information for you in the description also. It was tiny, but a clean room with a tiny bath, really close to the train station, so you're really paying for the location here. I decided to do my own chocolate tour, so I had researched the top 3 places to go for chocolate in Zurich. So I decided to go to those shops and try some of the chocolate at each of the places. So the first shop was the Lindt factory. They had a beautiful chocolate fountain with lots of chocolates. And this was the cheapest of the 3 places that I got chocolate at. Then I went to Ladder Rock. Lots of nice, expensive chocolates there, and they were beautiful, but of course I had to buy some. So it was the most expensive place out of the 3. Then I went to Honnold, which is a family-owned shop with delicious looking chocolate. right in the middle price-wise of the three that I went to, and I had a hard time choosing which one I wanted. I was lucky that they let me try some samples there. I bought lots of chocolate. I came home with $100 in chocolate from those three places, which was I enjoyed and my friends and family enjoyed also. So on my walk back to the hotel in Zurich, I passed through the train station again, and they had a beer garden that looked really interesting, along with a champagne bar that was really close to that too. So I love my time in Switzerland, but I definitely would choose a different time of year if I was going again. Maybe June. Still a little bit of the shoulder season. I think most tourists go in July and August, but it definitely, I think I'd be able to see the mountains, and it would be a little warmer. So I hope I can go back sometime and see all the lovely mountains that I wanted to see before. So I hope you enjoyed hearing about Switzerland, and I hope it made you realize that it is important what time of year you choose when you're going somewhere where you want to see something in particular. So stay tuned for my next video. It's going to be all on Germany. See you soon. Bye-bye.